Hiccups, the awkward little hic that arrives without warning, usually at the worst possible time, during a job interview, a wedding toast, or the quiet part of a movie theater. They're bizarre, rhythmic, and almost always unwelcome. You're fine one moment, then suddenly your diaphragm decides it's going to throw a mini tantrum, and your body starts producing a sound that makes you feel like a malfunctioning toy. Most people chalk hiccups up to being a harmless, if slightly embarrassing, glitch in the system. But what if there's more to this spasm than meets the ear? What if hiccups are actually evolutionary echoes from a time when life was still learning to live both underwater and on land? Let's start with what a hiccup actually is. It's a reflex, specifically, a sudden involuntary contraction of the diaphragm, the big muscle that helps you breathe, immediately followed by the quick closure of the vocal cords. That's what makes the sound. It's like your body is trying to inhale, then slams the door shut mid-breath, leaving you hiccuping like a startled squirrel.
But why?
What purpose could this possibly serve? One theory, and it's surprisingly charming, is that hiccups might be an evolutionary holdover from our distant aquatic ancestors. Some researchers have proposed that the hiccup reflex closely resembles the way early amphibians and aquatic mammals may have coordinated breathing and swallowing, especially those who needed to manage both air and water while feeding. In this view, the hiccup could have originally functioned as a mechanism to push air out of the stomach before diving or swallowing underwater, helping to protect the lungs and streamline buoyancy. Imagine a primitive sea creature clearing its internal air pipes before taking the plunge, like a reverse burp designed to keep everything running smoothly beneath the surface. Another, slightly more modern twist on the theory involves human development. Infants, it turns out, hiccup a lot, even in the womb. In fact, fetal hiccups are common and often start during the second trimester. This has led to the idea that hiccuping might be part of the process of developing the coordination needed for breathing, sucking, and swallowing, three incredibly important actions that newborns need to get right, fast. In this context, hiccups might act like a neurological test pattern, helping fine-tune the circuits that control the diaphragm and respiratory muscles before the baby enters the world and needs to put all that breathing stuff into action. Of course, in adult humans, hiccups are mostly a nuisance. They can be triggered by all sorts of things: eating too quickly, drinking carbonated beverages, swallowing air, spicy food, sudden excitement, or even a sharp change in temperature. These modern hiccup triggers seem random, but they all involve disruptions in the normal coordination between the stomach, the diaphragm, and the brainstem, exactly the kind of complex dance that, evolutionarily speaking, was once essential for survival in a very different environment. And let's be honest, part of the reason hiccups are so irritating is that they're so mysterious. They appear without warning, often leave without explanation, and seem immune to any consistent remedy. We've tried everything: holding your breath, drinking water upside down, getting startled by a friend who really should be better at timing. But no cure works 100% of the time, and that stubborn unpredictability only adds to the theory that hiccups aren't here for a modern purpose. They're leftovers.
Ghosts in a machine.
Echoes from a time when managing air and water in the body was a delicate, high-stakes operation. So, the next time you're stuck hiccuping your way through dinner, or trying to suppress that familiar hic in a quiet room, try to reframe it. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's inconvenient. But also, you're momentarily reliving a bit of ancient biology. A twitch from your aquatic past. A vestigial reflex passed down from creatures that swam, surfaced, gulped air, and evolved into the landlubbers we are today. Your diaphragm may just be reminiscing about its glory days. In short, hiccups may no longer serve a vital purpose in adult life, but they offer a quirky, fascinating window into both our evolutionary history and early development. They're not just glitches, they're echoes. Inconvenient, yes, but also kind of poetic. A reminder that deep inside your body, there are still traces of ancient adaptations trying to make sense of a world that's long since changed.